We just got introduced to a DC comic villain in Harley Quinn Season 5, Episode 2, and this character has ties to a Swamp Thing and Poison Ivy. We're going to be talking spoilers, so this is going to be a spoiler warning. Now, Ivy goes to a botany research center, and she gets introduced to Jason Woodrue. And in the comics, Jason Woodrue is the Floronic Man, a villain of the Atom, Swamp Thing, and the creator of Poison Ivy. Now, this version of the character seems to be going more in that DC Rebirth era of comics, where he was a professor, he had a relationship with Pamela Isley, who ended up getting turned into Poison Ivy because of a research experiment that he does, turning her into the villain we know to this day. And in the comics as well, he was tied to Alec Holland, as Alec Holland was one of his students. So I'm kind of curious to see if Swamp Thing will be coming back this season to go against the Floronic Man, after Ivy has turned him into that villain at the end of this episode. Now, on top of that, we did get to see what his design will slightly look like, which definitely does look more like that DC Rebirth era of comics, with him being more of a bigger jacked up plant. Now, I thought this was cool to introduce a new character, someone that for Ivy to really go against, someone who's also connected to the Green, and will be dealing with Ivy and plants to give her more of a bigger threat that she has to deal with, especially one that she created. Now, what I think is going to happen too is that each episode is going to be setting up new villains for Ivy and Harley Quinn and their friends to be going against by the end of the series. And I'm very curious to see what they do with this character and how they kind of portray him in this universe. I've only read a little bit of him from the comics. I'm curious to see what this show will parody him as. But let me know, what do you think of the Floronic Man's introduction?